Do you want to become a millionaire? Start a boring business. Don't try to be a Hollywood actor. Don't try to be a pop star. Don't try to be a cartoonist. Go for boring. Boring pays. 3 boring businesses that will make millions. Number 1, vending machines. Vending machines actually have a really low startup cost. You can start for as little as $2,250. You get your vending machine, you put it in a building, and it starts to generate money. On average, people who run vending machine businesses make $484,000 a year. That's a lot for a boring business. Literally, all you're doing is finding a location, putting a machine in there, and stocking it. Now, here's the key to making vending machine businesses work. Relationships. You need to build a relationship with the person who owns the location. And you need to be smart enough in this boring business to pick locations that will monetize, meaning locations with high traffic. So there has to be a lot of traffic, especially throughout the day. So people have to be coming and going. They have to, your machine has to be in the right location in the right building so that when people pass by it, they see it. And they have to be the type of people who don't have access to other drinks. Because if there's a coffee shop right next door and there's a restaurant down the street and all these other things, they will probably ignore the vending machine and go get their drinks elsewhere. But if there's nothing, if it's a drink desert and the vending machine is the only oasis, people will go there. Also, the type of drinks you stock makes a huge difference. You need to figure out what are the high traffic drinks. Usually those are the big brands. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, different soft drinks. But trends are changing. People are gravitating towards healthier drinks. However, if you go off on some tangent and stock really strange or unusual drinks, usually your machine won't make much money. I'm sorry, but average drinks sell. So if you have any doubts, go into a grocery store, look on the aisles, even talk to the people who work in a grocery store, see what moves. And that's probably what's going to move in your vending machine. Number 2, boring businesses that make millions, electrical systems repair. So you have to repair electrical systems, in buildings and other locations. This is actually really lucrative. It only costs, on average, $27,500 to get started. And the payoff is huge, almost $1 million, $978,000 a year. However, you need some skills to get going. You need to either be an electrician or you need to find talented electricians who can repair these systems to work for you. So that's the challenge in getting going. If you can overcome that challenge, the next challenge is getting contracts. Like, it's hard because there's competition out there. There's other electrical repair system companies. But once you get a contract, if you do a good job, they usually stick with you. So you can just keep adding contract after contract after contract. It's not an exciting business, but it's a steady growth business that you can build until the point where you are putting millions of dollars into your pockets. Number 3 of the most boring businesses out there, and maybe the most boring of all, but the most lucrative, owning a parking lot. Owning a parking lot. The startup costs are more for this. On average, $125,000 to get going. You need the land. You gotta get the land somehow. Once you have the land and once you set it up, it's a cash cow. The money just starts rolling in. And literally, working in a parking lot, very boring. You're probably not gonna work in your own parking lot, maybe at the beginning, but eventually you will have other people working and hopefully you will take your profits and expand more and more parking lots. The average parking lot owner brings in $1.5 million a year. And you can go way beyond this. But there's a key. The key is you can't put a parking lot anywhere. You put it in the middle of nowhere, nobody's gonna park there. You have to put it in a high traffic zone where there aren't enough public parking spaces. So the denser the zone, with inadequate public parking, that's when these parking lot locations begin to print money. Again, the golden rule: location, location, location. This is a real estate business. And at the end of the day, if you pick the wrong location, you're probably going to lose money. So you have to be really careful. And if you don't know what you're doing, get an expert, get a consultant, get somebody that can tell you what are the best locations. Also, just drive around the neighborhood. See if you can find parking spots. If you can't find any decently priced parking spots, that's probably a good area. These businesses aren't complex to run. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, yet you can make a lot more than most rocket scientists ever make in their lifetime.